All right, confirmands. This will be my last video with you guys. We're looking at lesson 23, and we're covering Luke 15, 1 through 32, which is known as the product or the parable of the prodigal son. Or, as you see in your lesson, it says the loving parent. Let's see here. So for today, um, I want you to know that this is the third parable that Jesus teaches in Luke chapter 15. The first is a story or a parable of a lost sheep. The second is a parable or a story about a lost coin. And now Jesus tells a third story about a lost son. And we read, "There was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me,' or also known as an inheritance." Now, when do you get an inheritance? It's usually when someone dies, right? So basically, this kid is saying, "Hey, Dad, I wish you were dead so I could have all the stuff that you're going to give me now," right? Not something that you would typically say or you'd expect to hear from a child. And graciously, this parent divides his property between them. Not many days later, the young son gathers all he had and took a journey to a far country, and he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in that country, and he began to be in need. So he hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him into his field to feed pigs. And remember, Jesus is Jewish, and pigs are an unclean animal. The Jews did not eat the pigs, they didn't touch the pigs. I mean, you just stayed away from pigs. So, to this day, Jews who follow kosher laws will not eat uh, pork. So, no bacon, unfortunately. Anyway, this is a huge, huge demeaning thing. This kid has squandered all the stuff that he had just got from his father, and now he's got to eat, or he's got to feed pigs. Verse 16. He was longing to be fed with the pods that the pigs ate, and no one gave him anything. This guy has hit such rock bottom that now he wants to eat the food that the pigs are eating. Have you ever seen what a pig eats? It's disgusting. I mean, they eat scraps. They eat anything really. Um, and this guy wants to eat what the pigs are eating. Now, when Jesus is telling this parable, the shock value for those people who are hearing it has got to be pretty through the roof. I can't believe he would say something like that. We can't eat pigs. We can't even be by pigs. And this person in the story wants to eat the food that pigs are eating? That's gross, Jesus. Well, let's read on. When he came to himself, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread, and I perish here with hunger? How is it that even the slaves or the servants of my father, they've got food to eat, and I've got nothing? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants.' And he arose and came to his father." Now, here's the thing. Um, this guy is having a moment, what we would say, of people would maybe say a moment of clarity, but this is an aha moment. This is a realizing how bad the situation really is. This is a time of repentance and going and looking for going in faith, looking for mercy from his father, right? He doesn't even want to be considered a son anymore. He's happy enough just to be one of his servants at this point. So he arose, he came to his father. But while he, this is the son, was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him, and bring a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. I want you to think about that picture. The father sees the son walking, and from a long way off, the father runs to him. Now, in Jewish culture, it is undignified for the elder of the family to run, right? I mean, you would run to an elder, but you would never see an elder running towards someone, right? That's just what kids would do. So the father is running to the son. He probably smells the son, maybe as soon as he sees the son too, right? He's been living with pigs. If you've been by pigs, you know they stink. So he runs, he finds the son who has been feeding pigs and wanting to eat the pig slop. And what does he do? He wraps his arms around him. The son was probably filthy dirty, but that didn't stop the father from giving him a huge hug and kissing him, right? So the father is not afraid to get dirty. Then he sees that his son is dirty, and he after the son says, "I've sinned against you, and I've sinned before heaven and against you, no longer worthy to be called your son." What does the father do? He immediately treats him as a son. He gets the best robe. And instead of being a filthy, dirty son, now he is a clothed and clean son. He puts the ring on his finger, signifying, right? This would be like the family signet ring. You would use that to press into letters or whatever. It would be the family seal. And now this ring is stuck on the son's hand once again. Shoes on his feet, and now let's have a feast. Right? The son was lost, now he's found. Now, here we read on a little bit further, right? We're reading to 32. His older son was in the field, and he came near the house, and he heard the music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And one of the servants said to him, Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he received him back safe and sound. But the other son was angry and refused to go in. Well, his father came out to him and entreated him. But he answered his father, Look, this many years I have served you, and I never disobeyed your command. Yet you never gave me a young goat, but I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, he doesn't even call him his brother, but when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him. And the father said to him, Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. It was fitting to celebrate and be glad, for this your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. Now, I asked you Sunday during our lesson with the Good Samaritan to think about who is Jesus in this parable. And I think hearing it, you should get a pretty good picture of who Jesus is in this parable. I want you to think about who the older brother represents in this parable. And I want you to think about who the son who returns with repentance and faith is supposed to be in this parable. So that's going to be our discussion for our last meeting on the 28th. And then after that, Pastor Beck, like I said, will be taking over with the following lessons. So um, think about that. Who is Jesus in this parable? Who does the son who returns? Who is that supposed to represent? And who is the older brother in the parable? Who does that represent? Work through your workbooks, pages 48 and 49. You will be reading Matthew chapter 22. And let's see, your memory verse for the for the week is 1 Timothy 1:15. All right, guys. Well, blessings, and look forward to our time together.